Premier League teams already swept aside. Having conquered Brentford and Liverpool, Argyle now turn their attention to the champions, Manchester City, for a spot in the quarter-finals of the Emirates FA Cup. It's been 13 years since Argyle were at this stage of the competition. Back then, they did make it to the last 8, but today is a whole different proposition entirely. Then it was fellow championship side Derby at Home Park, and this afternoon it's the team that has dominated English football for the past decade. Simple. Hello, good afternoon. I am Erin Black and you're watching Argyle TV. We couldn't do it for a third time, could we? It's already been an incredible cup run here for Argyle. Headline-grabbing wins against both Brentford and Liverpool. But if they were to do it again today, that would certainly top the lot. At the Etihad against the current English champions, where they haven't lost an FA Cup for 10 years. Once again, the world's eyes are on Argyle, and we have you covered here on Argyle TV. It's been a very busy day for Argyle fans down in Plymouth, making that trip up to Manchester, a 566-mile round trip, with coaches setting off nice and early this morning, no sooner than 8:30 a.m. 7,800 die-hard fans boarding those coaches to make the long trip up to Manchester, and hopefully it will all be worthwhile for them in about an hour's time when we see Argyle hit the pitch and take on Manchester City. Now, due to the competition regulations, we can only bring you audio commentary of the game this afternoon, and you'll have to be a subscriber to be able to listen. But don't worry, because we've got a full hour of build-up here for you on Argyle TV before kick-off, and lots of great guests joining us. Charlie Price will be giving us a flavour of the atmosphere over at the Etihad throughout this afternoon, because as you may have seen, Katie and I are here at Home Park this afternoon. We'll have all of the build-up, of course, in the company of Katie. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's a little bit of a different atmosphere than maybe we were used to for the Liverpool game, because, of course, we are away up at the Etihad in Manchester. It's looking a little bit like an ice rink.
It is.
At Home Park this afternoon. The grass is growing nicely behind us. You can see they've put all the tarpaulin over it behind us. It's a bit surreal, isn't it? I mean, being here where there's no one here. But I don't know if you feel the same, Katie. The atmosphere, the anticipation for the game, despite being in an empty Home Park, I'm still very much feeling it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a massive game today, isn't it? And yeah, we'll probably touch on it again later, but it's one of those games where sort of pressure's off from the grind, if you like,
yes,
of the league, and you know the players can go there today and just enjoy themselves and soak up the atmosphere, which is going to be, I'm sure, pretty special up there with, as you said, nearly 8,000 Argyle fans on their travels.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it would be, you know, out of this world to beat Man City in the 5th round of the FA Cup. But I think, like you said, this is something that fans are going to just to enjoy, because how often do you get to play, you know, a team like this as Argyle?
Yeah, 100%. It's a great day out. It's a great occasion for the Argyle fans, and you know, we've had big games before, and you know, been on our travels, and you know, we always travel well in good numbers. And I'm sure if Miron thinks back, he'll think about that Brentford game where he wasn't quite in charge yet, but was about to take over, and you know, the atmosphere that they created away there was insanely good. So he'll be wanting to sample that for himself as the manager of Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah, well, of course, there was that footage of him at the Brentford game in the stands, just filming the crowd reaction at the end, kind of laughing on his phone.
Loving the celebrations.
Yeah, and then having to get the train back down from London with all the Argyle fans in very good spirits indeed. So, I mean, it would be absolutely fantastic for him to experience that. We'll hear from him later on, of course, but I think he is also not only taking this in his stride, but taking this as an opportunity, of course, coming up against a great in terms of football managers later on this afternoon. And I think, you know, he was looking for an opportunity to maybe have a bit of a chat with Pep and possibly even get some advice.
Yeah, I saw Pep had written somewhere about having a a really nice bottle of wine ready for him after the game. So I'm sure he'll be looking forward to that side of stuff as well. But it's a great opportunity for obviously Music to pit himself against, as you said, one of the best managers in the game. So a massive occasion for him as a manager, a relatively fresh manager, I guess, early on in his career. So he'll be excited about the challenge for sure.
Yeah, whatever happens this afternoon, I think there will be a lot of positives to walk away from for everybody involved in the Argyle family. And of course, while me and Katie are here in the quiet, in the Etihad Stadium are our commentary team. They have made the trip up to Manchester. Former Argyle defender Brian McGlinchey is there alongside Charlie Price for the game. And hopefully, I believe, Charlie, you have the Argyle team.
Hi, Erin. We are here in the Etihad Stadium, and it is some stadium. It's got to be said. Even outside, walking around it takes probably about an hour. As you take it all in, there's the academy over the other side. The campus is absolutely incredible. And as you say, Brian and I are here with the important team news as well, which is excellent. 6 changes, basically, the headlines for Argyle. Bali Mumba recalled first start in quite a long time, playing in that advanced role. There's a whole change in midfield as well, with JB and Boateng coming in. JB, of course, a former City youngster. Ogbeta also comes in on the left-hand side. He spent time here at City as a kid as well. And Julio Pleguezuelo, fresh from signing that brand new contract in the starting lineup as part of the back three. So, Brian, before we get to the game and the occasion and all of that, in terms of this, the team news, we probably expected some changes in there. We obviously know about the injury to Tijani that he got. Midfield has changed, but I suppose that the highlight is JB and Ogbeta, 2 former City youngsters, starting at the Etihad.
Yeah, they were probably delighted to get the shout for this game, to be honest. Maybe didn't expect it. The manager's got a difficult decision because Hull on Tuesday night as well. So we know the priority is the league, but what an opportunity for those 2 players coming in, and the midfield changes as well. Yeah, good opportunity for lots of players coming in. I guess the back three is the main 3 centre halves. With Pleguezuelo coming in as well. After his new contract, so he'll be in good form. So all to play for. But what a beautiful arena and occasion and pitch, and I'm very jealous.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
You spent time here.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like this, was it?
It
wasn't like this. It's changed somewhat, but being back here and being around Manchester and knowing what. You were a youngster, you were a kid then as well. But knowing what the club means to the city and seeing how far it's come on since your time here has been insane. Yeah, insane's the word. Like before, just as I left, they were coming here to this stadium, and this club's grew from strength to strength. But lots of friends here and lots of great memories. When I was driving in, I was like reminiscing. I was driving in, and I drove past the old training ground and stuff like that, just to have a look. And great memories coming up the road here today. It's an interesting game, this one, isn't it? Because obviously Man City are such a dominant force. They have been for the past decade. They've 4 Premier League titles in a row, 7-time winners of this competition, Champions League winners. But by their standards, this season hasn't been up to scratch. And this competition is the only one that they can win now, isn't it? Well, that could be a bit of a disadvantage for Argyle in a sense, because they could play their strongest team today and really go for it. And they're not the type of team that will be settled for 1-2-0. They'll go and try and get lots of goals. But I think Argyle have just got to just do themselves proud, do the city proud, like they've done in the last 2 games. They've played Premiership opposition, they've done well. So yes, this is a different, City will have a full strength team out, I think, and away from home this will be a tough game. But for any professional footballer, getting yourself to challenge yourself against the calibre of player they're going to play against is a great opportunity. Just a final one on the team. You picked out the 3 centre backs, the 2 wing backs have changed. Soronolo's come in, Ogbeta's come in. They're going to have to be on it today, aren't they? The way City play and the way in which they'll no doubt dominate territory possession and try and create as many chances as possible. I think there's a bit of a blueprint, because Liverpool came here last week and they played really deep defensively, and I think Argyle will do the same. I don't think you'll see the wing backs bombing forward at all. I think they'll go forward when they can, but I think they'll try and keep it narrow, tight, and try and defend their box the way that Liverpool did, to be honest. But that's a big uphill task to do what Liverpool did. But the longer the game goes at 0-0, you just never know. Like they did at home park against Liverpool, you might get a decision, a penalty, a corner. Like we got a free kick against Chelsea last year, didn't we? Yeah, and we scored. So
You never know. Set piece is probably key today.
Yeah, and just something for those 8,000 that are going to be in the stand behind.
When I was coming in, walking around the ground, it's for the fans today, isn't it?
Yeah,
the smile on their faces, taking pictures and seeing this sort of stadium and that. Yeah, it's brilliant for them. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here, to be honest. Can't wait to watch the game.
Yeah. We will get ready for commentary because that is to come, and we can't wait.
Well, we can't wait either. Of course, it is a little bit different here, not having the fans trickling in at home park, and we're not jealous of Brian and Charlie at all. And we're going to have just as much of a good time here. Hey, Katie, me and you could run around the pitch if it all goes our way.
See if we can find a ball somewhere and have a kick around while we're here.
You'll probably be on your own with that one. I don't think I'll be much good. Right, let's have a look then at the full Argyle lineup for you for this evening's game, starting with Connor Hazard, Barley Mumba, Nathaniel Ogbeta, Julio Plegathuelo, Callum Wright, Mustafa Bundu, Darko JB, Malachi Boateng, Nikola Katic, Matti Sorinola, Maxim Telavierov, and on our bench we've got Grimshaw, Houghton, Suj, Edwards, Puach, Alhaj, Baidu, Roberts and Palson. That's what it's lining up like on the pitch. Katie, in terms of the squad and the formation, what are you thinking at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Plegathuelo comes back in. He'll be buoyed by signing his extension to his contract in the last couple of days. So he'll be keen to show what he can do coming back into the starting lineup. And like Brian and Charlie were saying, it's an opportunity for some players to come in and show what they're capable of doing. We haven't seen much of Ogbeta at all, really. Odd appearances here and there, and a really massive opportunity for him today. Obviously, going back or performing at the Etihad, obviously coming through as a Man City player, and likewise with JB. Chance to go back and play against the side that they sort of were brought up, learning their football trade with, I guess.
Yeah, well, we had that, didn't we, with the Liverpool game in Callum Wright, of course, and now, as you said, Darko JB, one of the Argyle players in the Man City Academy. So this is going to be a really big game for him.
Yeah, massive game, and he's gonna have a really important role today. We'll get onto the Man City side in a minute, but we'll look at the quality that they have that our players are going to have to try and nullify somehow. It's going to be a challenge for sure, but I'm sure one that the players are really looking forward to. And JB's probably in there a little bit more for his energy over the likes of Jordan Houghton today. So we're certainly going to need to see that from him.
Yeah, we'll need a big game from the midfield, but especially in today's fixture, we're going to need a big game for the defenders as well. Katic is probably one of the players that has stood out for Argyle defensively in recent weeks, and he's going to need to put a pretty big shift in today.
Yeah, I think all three of our defenders, our back three, are really going to need to, step up today. And at times will probably be overloaded. They'll be bombarded with balls into the box that they're going to need to deal with. Man City aren't necessarily a side who, like to play the ball long or get lots of crosses into the box. It'll be a different kind of challenge for them, I guess, to what they're probably used to coming up more often than not in the Championship. So, they're going to have to be on their toes. The movement of the Man City forwards will be, up there with probably the best they've come up against in their careers, so it's going to be a challenge, but again, one that I'm sure they'll be really looking forward to. Those guys are players who want to defend, and they've done that really well since they've come in, so hopefully we see another battling performance and display from them today. Yeah,
I am looking forward to seeing a maxi tackle celebration, because we've seen them previously. We've seen his reaction to scoring a goal, but I think being able to take on some of Man City's finest will result in quite a big emotional outburst from him.
Oh yeah, he loves it, doesn't he?
He absolutely loves it.
They just love defending, which I think is great. Obviously, I think he's more excited about defending than he is normally against about scoring. So I'm sure he'll have plenty of opportunity to celebrate today once he's pulled off a few great tackles. Yeah, I think there will be a lot going on in that end of the pitch. We may even see another tooth disappear. Who can say? There is quite literally an awful lot to play for this afternoon. And of course, we are taking on Man City. They played Tottenham Hotspur on Wednesday night. Again,
Is that a big of a deal as Argyle? I would argue probably not. But we'll have a little look at the team that they've got facing us. And there are some pretty big names in there. Stefan Ortega, Nathan Aki, Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Vitor Reis, Phil Foden, Nico O'Reilly, Rico Lewis, James McAtee, and then of course you've got all their subs too. Haaland on the bench as an example, Mateus Nunes as well. There are some big names in there that they will be able to pull out of the bag, Katie, should they need to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a star-studded lineup anyway, isn't it? And then you look at the bench and think, God, there's absolutely no respite whatsoever if they bring any of them on.
Yeah, it's almost, two separate teams.
Yeah, crazy really with the quality that they've got. But I think it gives Argyle the chance to say, I think the Liverpool game was one of those games where people were saying, yes, you beat Liverpool, but it wasn't the Liverpool side. It was, a lot of youngsters and almost trying to, I guess, take away some of the credit for that. But when you look at that starting lineup today, with the amount of quality that they've got in there, it's a tough task, and they've got some real big players that can obviously cause us problems.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, it is a tough task, like you said, and I think we kind of experienced it when we had Liverpool come down. You have high hopes. You're thinking, what kind of team are they going to bring to test Argyle? And we didn't necessarily have that. And I think people were probably, despite the result, maybe a little bit disappointed in the squad that was offered. This isn't happening today. I think it's going to be a huge challenge. But as a fan, getting to see your team take on these kind of players, that's exactly what the FA Cup's all about.
Yeah, 100%. And, Man City have played against a couple of sides in the lower league so far, and they comfortably beat Salford in the third round, and then it was a challenge against Leyton Orient in the second round. The fourth round for them, their second game. So I think they've obviously looked at the results that Argyle have had. Brentford maybe didn't go with a full side. Liverpool certainly didn't go with a full strength side. So I think Man City don't want to take that risk today.
Yeah.
Like Charlie said, they're probably just playing for the FA Cup now this season. They obviously want to finish in the top four in the Premier League, but this is probably their only hope of silverware. So I expected them to go strong today, and they certainly have.
Yes, it will be all the more embarrassing for Man City, I guess, if it didn't go in their favour. But on the flip side, for Argyle to pull this off, it could be, one of the biggest giant killings that this club has ever done.
Yeah, 100%. We've obviously it was a massive result playing Liverpool here and beating them, and then you get your draw and you're away at Man City in the next round, and it just gives you the opportunity to go and say, you have at some point in your career you've pitted yourself against some of the best players. You look at Kevin De Bruyne, probably one of the best players that's ever played in the Premier League. Yeah. So, I know he's getting towards the end of his career now, but he's still an unbelievable player and he can make things happen. And, that's very much what Argyle are going to be aware of today, and trying to do everything they can to, like I say, stop these players from getting comfortable on the ball and playing the way that they want to play.
Yeah, I think for the smaller teams that go into this competition, of course, Argyle not being one of them, famously, but part of it is the reward of, you see the players on the pitch there, getting to go up to somewhere like Man City, getting to take on these players. There's no expectation that they're going to get, to the quarter semi-finals. It's all just game by game, and the reward for taking on and beating Liverpool is just being there right now and getting to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, no one gave us a chance against Brentford. Yep. No one gave us a chance against Liverpool. And here we are. A couple of games later. I think it's been a long time since teams not in the Premier League have beaten 3 Premier League teams in a row. So, like you said, it's just about enjoying the game and being in the moment and soaking up the atmosphere. The 8,000 Argyle fans that are there will make a massive noise the whole game, I'm sure, and it'll be as good an occasion for them as it is for the players.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the cartoon of the Grim Reaper going down the corridor, knocking on the Brentford door, knocking on the Liverpool door, is about to knock on Man City's door. We'll just have to see whether he gets in or not. Now, when Argyle were pulled out of the hat to face Man City, Nathaniel Ogbeta and Darko JB will probably have been the two that were most happy with that draw. Both played in the Man City academy, and they're strong friends here in the Argyle dressing room, as can be seen here.
¿Estás listo?
Sí.
That means, are you ready? What's the funniest thing you've ever seen? This can't be smoking about.
You can't say it.
No, I'm coming.
Oh man, okay, I forgot.
Bro, you have to answer the question, my guy.
Nah, bro, I'm gonna say
You
it, bro.
have to answer the question, bro.
But we both have to answer, no?
Yeah, you go first, though.
Funniest thing I've ever seen.
I got one then. I'll start. Yeah.
No.
Alright, this isn't funny, bro. It's funny. Alright, sorry. It's conversation. Alright, Freddie. He was meant to come on, innit?
Yeah.
And he forgot his shirt inside. So he ran to get his shirt. Came out like with his shirt and his shorts and his socks. He forgot his socks, so he just had the small socks and that. Like, Freddie, come on! Then he had to put his socks on. They're panicking at that.
Oh.
Game on.
Trying to think.
Have you been brought up before, like not on half time, but before half time?
Nah, never. But what's a funny thing that happened to me was, so like England, innit?
Yeah.
And like, so I was like under 15. Pens, it went to pens, innit?
Mm.
So I scored the first pen, and then like it came back around to me. But when I scored the first pen, yeah, I was like, celebrating to my family and like jumping and that. And then the second pen comes, yeah, sudden death, innit? Bro, I take the pen, I bang it, keeper saves it. I'm like this. Nah, that was a bro. Probably. And then did you play that EFL Cup game with Enzo where it went to pens? Yeah, I came on in it.
Did you take a pen?
Yeah, I took a pen. Yeah.
Don't tell me this.
Bro,
Why don't I remember this?
I came on, I banged it over the ball. Enzo was like, Darko, don't worry. I was like, oh my days. Nah, that was a low light. So I came on like 15 minutes in it. And you know EFL trophy. When it's 0-0 goes to pens, bro.
Yeah.
And like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm playing up. This is the one. Boom, over the bar. I was like this, bro. But it didn't mean anything because we still went through.
Yeah.
But I was just.
What?
Yeah, but I was like this, bro. There's a picture still of me and Enzo.
It's a story, that's good.
But yeah, I'll probably say that.
Nice use of the Argyle logo. There's an expletive beep there. You can watch the full version of that on Argyle TV right now. Now probably isn't the right time to do that. I think you're going to want to stay locked into this and the game for the rest of the afternoon. Clearly, they're very good mates, Katie. It's nice when, you know, I guess they have similarities in past experiences that they can draw from, you know, both having come from the academy. But it's so integral when you are, you know, up against players in new clubs that you move to, that you can have that bonding, that experience, and work well together off and on the pitch.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of maybe the uplift in Argyle's fortunes recently has been that increased kind of camaraderie of everyone sort of, I guess, singing off the same hymn sheet, and, you know, they're there to do a job. They want to all work hard for each other, and when you're good friends off the pitch as well, that really helps with that. And yeah, you can see, they're obviously having a good laugh there in the interview. But you know, when you've grown up playing with players, it gives you that bond that then you kind of understand each other a bit more on the pitch as well, which gives you that opportunity to, I guess, showcase what you can do a little bit more. Yeah,
well, they'll certainly be aware of Pep, and Pep no doubt will be aware of them. We'll just have to hope the laughs that they've been having in that video continue throughout the rest of the day and we don't end up with tears. Let's head back over to the Etihad now then and soak up some more of the atmosphere. Charlie Price is there, and he has a former Argyle, and Man City legend with him, Charlie.
Yeah, that's right, Erin. Here we are, Etihad Stadium. It is it's a magnificent place, let me tell you. And I've got, as you say, a legend that has feet in both camps today, Jock Morrison. I mean, if there was ever a game for you, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, listen, chuffed a bit. So, thought about it since the draw was made. Got all family up, friends up today, just coming in now, the Green Army. I mean, it's the blue half of Manchester. It's slightly turning green as it is outside at the minute. It's incredible.
Let me tell you, the middle of Manchester at the minute, all you can hear is Argyle supporters.
Yeah,
8,000 of them are gonna be in the end to just behind us there. I mean, that would be some sight, wouldn't it?
Absolutely fantastic, and they'll make sure that they're heard. And they'll go away today, whatever the score, and Manchester City will remember Argyle fans because the following is fantastic, and I've heard many other clubs talk about the Argyle following, home and away. So it's going to be a great day for them.
Yeah, we obviously know your connections with both, but if I had to push you on where allegiances are today. I know you're doing a lot for Manchester.
No, listen, I've been asked this all week. I've been to supporters branches with City, and I'm an Argyle fan. Yeah. And I wouldn't try and paint it any other way. They're not stupid City fans. I've got an incredible allegiance with Manchester City. All my kids are City fans, but I grew up a green, and was there from the age of 9. So obviously it's a special occasion today, and it's brilliant, and they thoroughly deserve it for 2 remarkable results. Brentford, I didn't even see that coming. And then obviously the Liverpool game was just fantastic, and I'm still struggling at the minute to understand 9 minutes extra time. I still can't get over. My son said to me, "Dad, you said it 25 times. Where did they get 9 minutes from?"
It was 9 feeling 90. By the way.
It was brilliant occasion though, and it was great. And then obviously the draw on the Monday, getting Plymouth here was fantastic.
Yeah. On the game then, you've mentioned the two rounds we've had before. We might get caught by the sprinkler in a minute, so we might have to run away, but they're 2 Premier League teams that have been beaten. Yeah. Brentford at the time, I think, were only second to Liverpool in terms of home form. Liverpool obviously are Liverpool. Yeah, we're going to have to go. We're going to have to just dive out of the way. Right, I think we are away from that.
Yeah.
You're right. Back to that.
Yeah.
2 Premier League teams done. Liverpool, obviously, the last. And we heard Pep Guardiola talking in his pre-match press about, Argyle have to be respected here. Yeah. So what are you expecting from the game, Jock? How do you maybe see this going?
With football intelligence and understanding of the game, I'm fearful for Plymouth. I really, really am, because of the way Plymouth sets up and play, and the way they're playing at this moment, to try and stay in the league. You could see a record today in possession for City. You could be 80% plus possession of the ball, and then when the turnover of possession, when you're in that deep block, it's so difficult to get out, to get 2 or 3 passes together. So it's going to be relentless nature. But it's like that. Let's get to 12 minutes, get to 20 minutes.
Compartmentalise the game.
Absolutely, break it down. Get the keeper go down for 3 minutes, 4 minutes on 20 minutes, with a hamstring in anything, just to suffocate and slow City down. But it's going to be very, very, very difficult, and if the rhythm's right. Now, make no mistake, they played Tottenham in midweek, and if City were ruthless with their finishing, it's 5-6-0, not because of the chances, but the opportunities they created and then wrong decisions. If they get it right, then it could be really tough, and I hope it isn't like that. I hope they stay in it as long as they possibly can. But this is going to be a really, really tough game. Totally different to Liverpool. I think I said in this week when I spoke with the Herald that Liverpool got it wrong. Because they should have had Salah, they should have had McAllister, they should have been on the bench ready to come on in case it went against them. And City against Leyton Orient, De Bruyne and Foden came on. So that was the difference. So I felt there was a chance of an upset. Today, even in my wildest dreams, I can't see. But stranger things have happened in football. They really have.
Yeah, you can never quite say with any real certainty. You can be as close to. Just finally, then, on the City perspective, it's the only cup they can win this season, realistically now, isn't it? So that would indicate an even sort of more pointed performance today to make sure that 0.1% of an upset is never even considered.
Yeah, I mean, every player that's available, the strongest within the City squad will be there today, whether they start or whether they're on the bench. And of course, it's City are never going to drop off whatever game they play with the manager they have. You just can't have a day off, and the expectations at this football club are to win every game of football. No matter what competition, they're expected, and the manager has created that over a long period of time now. So this is a game that it's an opportunity. I mean, the targets for City this year are top 4 and to win the FA Cup, finish as high as they possibly can, and win the FA Cup. So this game is a huge game, and they'll go about it in the right way, and they'll be focused. And I'm really interested to see the starting 11.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Jock, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. I know you're a very, very busy man today with a lot of duties, so it's great to have you here and chatting to us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
There you go, Aaron.
Andy Morrison with a foot in both camps there, and also being sprinkled with the sprinkler, which I think, Katie Boone, you're in the same boat. Charlie finally getting a taste of his own medicine, the amount of times he's made us stand in the line of fire here at Home Park. Andy, saying maybe a bit fearful, but I think if there is one man that can instill hope and excitement for Argyle, it's none other than head coach Miron Muslic. Let's hear from him. He's masterminded one of Argyle's greatest ever wins. How is he going to do it again?
Argyle's beautiful adventure in the FA Cup continues this weekend when they head to the Etihad Stadium for their first ever encounter at that ground against Manchester City in the 5th round of the Emirates FA Cup. We'll be previewing this over the next 10 minutes or so. Nikola Katic is on his way, but as always, we'll start with the boss, Miron Muslic. I hope you don't mind that I borrowed your phrase, beautiful adventure, because it feels like it.
It is beautiful, isn't it? I think it can't get any bigger. Manchester City away, Etihad, I think supported by 8,000 of the Green Army. So we're going to have a green wall over there. And that just feels like a reward for Liverpool. Reward for us as staff, as players, for us as club and organisation, but especially as a reward for the Green Army. They also truly deserve this game, so everything to enjoy for us Saturday night.
Yeah. Now, answer this however you want, but how do you prepare to take on Manchester City?
The challenge cannot get bigger. Don't get me wrong, I think it's the most dominated team in the last 7-8 years, facing the best coach in history of football, and I'm not even exaggerating. Watching them playing against Tottenham, especially the first half, if they have a lead of 4-0, it will be perfectly fine. But it's always about finding the right balance, that we can be competitive against the best team in the world, especially City away. And we spoke about a lot, enjoy to defend and enjoying defending against Liverpool. But we need to give the lads also the structure so they have a chance to defend. And I think we will need another very, very good defensive structure so we have a chance to defend. And then will be also moments for us where we can regain the ball, steal the ball, and find also some threat in the transition. So this game will be a lot to defend, but we like and we enjoy to defend.
He's talking about his defensive structure there, Katie. Of course, that was filmed, not today, prior to, of course, the opposition lineup coming out. And I think that defensive structure may be now more important than ever.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's we know it's going to be a big challenge today, and Miron spoke about it there, but they played Tottenham on Wednesday night, I think it was Thursday night, and created a whole host of chances against a relatively good Premier League side. So, we know it's going to be a challenge today, and essentially it's about how they're set up and making sure that they're nice and compact as much as they can be, trying to shut down any spaces between the lines where players can be dangerous if they get on the ball. Phil Foden, whether he leads the line as a false nine, he'll drop back in and try and get on the ball, and we know what he can do when he's ticking, and he'll make things happen. So it's about just getting that structure right and defending well, but at the same time, when we get those moments and win the ball back, can we try and keep it to do something with it?
We'll find out, won't we?
We will.
We will find out indeed. Let's cast our minds way, way back now. So 51 years ago, Argyle and Man City, they locked horns in the League Cup semi-finals. It was a two-legged affair after Argyle, a second division side back then, had already knocked out 3 top-flight teams. Does that sound familiar? I think so. Man City eventually ended up winning the tie, but Argyle more than held their own, especially in the first leg. Johnny Hoare, Steve Davey, Derek Rickard and Alan Rogers were 4 of the players that were involved back then, and they sat down over a coffee to talk through their memories of those games.
Can you believe it? It's that long ago, 74.
This is it,
Man City. I know we were excited, weren't we? You know, the team they had, you know, the players they had.
Yeah, to be fair, it was a privilege to play against that forward line in particular. Yeah. I always remember Summerby, Bell was a legend.
Yeah, Francis
Lee, Dennis Law was a world legend. Yeah, that's right. And Rodney Marsh.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I played against Rodney Marsh before, but I hadn't played against any of the others up to then. Yeah, fantastic. Crowd, unbelievable crowd.
That's right.
Over 30,000 crammed in here.
One of them were at work.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's to say, it was a
3-day strike.
3-day week.
3-day work.
During that period.
Yeah.
So just thinking of Gordon, of course, Gordon Sparksy.
Yeah.
Used to do a lot with Gordon. Of course, his memories of Man City was leaving school because they got time off from school.
Yeah,
kids as
that's
well,
right. Yeah.
And his was coming to being in the Denport end and watching the game.
Right. Yeah.
And massive fan of the football club, as we know.
Yeah.
Mind you, we didn't think we were going to get to where we.
No, it wasn't just a one game.
Having winning all those games away from home.
They won the one game. It was 4-5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think we quite look forward to being away again because we had such a good track record.
Yeah, exactly right.
In the cup. Yeah. You know, Man City, fine, bring it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
How little we knew, but.
Yeah, it was a good game, great game, in the mud.
Yeah. What was their manager called?
Ron Saunders.
Yeah.
And Bucky, bless him.
Tony Book, yeah.
Bucky was his assistant.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
He was a hell of a player.
Yeah. Do you know, when I was a kid growing up, I used to come to Argyle and he was always my favourite player. Now, I was like a schoolboy left winger, but the right back was fantastic for me. I thought Tony Book. Yeah. How did you get around him?
Yeah.
And legs.
Yeah, he's very strong.
Just eat up the ground.
He came into it late.
He was 28, I think.
I think they said signing was 28, and I think he was 30 when he arrived.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
That's right.
That was Malcolm.
Did you say 28? Malcolm Allison.
Yeah, Malcolm. Yeah.
But then he went on. Did he not win the European Cup Winners' Cup at Man City? Or?
And he was Players of the Year for the Football League.
Oh, fantastic,
great guy.
Well, yeah, goal he got and all that. He played well at all.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We played the pitch, to be honest, rather than the opposition.
I think
because the pitch was so bad.
Disturbed them more than us.
Well, it was a great cross.
Who was it? Who made the cross? Al Rogers.
Oh, yeah, some bloke interfered. Donaghy had got him.
Oh, yeah, he was in the way.
Tried to chest it, silly man.
Yeah, he was, and then slipped, and then...
I'm saying play the pitch. I mean, but he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Get it out.
He slipped. He took it on his chest and slipped, and then I just
was in there.
Hit it with my outside of my foot.
Bender, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was he right foot?
Yeah, it had to be my right. It wasn't going to be the left, was it?
You are watching the pre-match show here on Matchday Live for Argyle TV. We are building up to the 5th round FA Cup action, Argyle against Manchester City. Man City have reached the last 2 FA Cup finals and won the cup on 7 occasions. It's now the only competition that City can realistically win, so their manager, Pep Guardiola, is taking it very seriously.
Afternoon, Pep. Let's start with Plymouth. The opponent's a little unknown, perhaps. What does your analysis tell you about Plymouth Argyle?
No, it's not unknown. If you are able to the best team in the country this season, Liverpool, they were to beat them, even Brentford. It's not unknown.
What have you learnt from watching Plymouth's game against Liverpool? What will you expect from them here tomorrow?
Well, I would say not just against Liverpool, as in other games, the patterns are the same. They defend really, really aggressive in the up front. they allow you to go outside, and after they make, it's like a trigger, and after they make incredible movements, the wing back jumping and the central defenders, and of course they regain the ball, the transitions that they do with attacking midfielders, they are inside, and they link really well with the strikers, the runners for attacking midfielders. In Championship, League One, League Two, the set pieces is the main thing that I think the Premier League learn for this type of leagues, because for the pitches, for the amount of free kicks, corners that they produce, for the fact that pitches sometimes they are not in like in Premier League, and they are solid, and of course the manager took over, the results were there, so they lost a few games in the last 10, 11, so yeah, expecting a difficult game. Of course we play at home, that is a little advantage comparing away, because Orion game was really tough, because for the good they are, and because this type of teams I play many times in Barcelona and here as well. We play many times in Carabao Cup, in FA Cup, in lower divisions, Championship, League 1 and 2. And always they're tricky, because I said, okay, maybe they have the quality individually like Premier League. Okay, accept it. But what they do really well. And when they can apply and they can do better than we want to do, you are in trouble. So tomorrow will not be an exception. We are not focused, but it's an opportunity to arrive in the last 8 for the FA Cup again, and we wanna do it.
Well, it's not been the calibre of season that they're used to, Katie. They're out of the Champions League. They're 20 points behind Liverpool, and if they want to win something, this has to be it.
Yeah, you're right. I think by their standards, the season's been fairly poor, really. I think they would say they went on a run of maybe one win in 10 or 11 games, something crazy like that, which is kind of an unknown, really, for a Man City side under Pep Guardiola. So, yeah, like you said, realistically, their only chance of winning any silverware is the FA Cup. So, hence, I think the reason why we see the side that we see that Pep's putting out today.
Yeah, because of course, unfortunately for them, to get to the FA Cup final, they do have to take on Plymouth Argyle. So let's have a little look at the squad that Miron Muslic has put out today. Hazard, Mumba, Ogbeta, Pleguezuelo, Wright, Bundu, JB, Boateng, Katic, Sorinola, Talavierov, and on the bench we've got Grimshaw, Houghton, Suj, Edwards, Puach, Al-Haj, Beidou, Roberts and Palsson. One of the things that stands out to me, you know, Puach on the bench, do you envisioning him maybe coming out to be a bit more of an impact player? Because I think from, you know, everything we've seen of him so far, he's been ready and willing to really get stuck in for Argyle.
Yeah, I think an opportunity for players obviously to come off the bench, but I think it's also probably a little one eye on Tuesday night and the game at Hull. So, you know, it's really tough decisions to make when you're obviously playing in the 5th round of the FA Cup. It's a massive game away at Man City, but then probably the most important game is the game away at Hull. So I think there's probably him weighing up, you know, does he save a few players? You know, it's not long until the next game, so you know, leaving a little bit, I guess, in reserve for that as well. Yeah,
very important that some of those key Argyle players have got something in the tank for next week's game. Of course, I think they're going to be staying up north to take on Hull, which hopefully might give people a little bit more of a rest, ready to go into that, which I think is a smart decision.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anyone who plays for Plymouth Argyle knows that you're going to have to travel a lot. So, you know, having travelled up to Manchester, obviously it makes sense to stay up around that area, ready for the whole game. So, yeah, I think it cuts down a bit of the travelling that they may potentially have had to do, and like I say, just affords them a little bit of time for recovery and rest before they go again for a massive game.
Yeah, it is a massive game, but Hull is a game away. There is one before us right now. It is Man City. This is the squad that they are putting up to take on Argyle. You've got there Ortega, Aki, Grealish, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Silva, Reece, Foden, O'Reilly, Lewis and McAtee. And then, of course, as we said before, the bench equally as solid as the lineup. Haaland is in there, Doku is in there, Gonzalez, Mateus Nunes as well. it's so tricky. It's exciting in one way, isn't it, Katie? But it's terrifying in another.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it's a big occasion and a massive opportunity for these Argyle players to play against some of the top players in the world. And if you look at Man City's starting 11, there's probably 9 full internationals in the squad, in the starting 11. So it's crazy the amount of talent they've got there and the quality they have, who can obviously cause Argyle problems. So great occasion for those boys that they're travelling in green to go up there and show what they're all about and show that they've got qualities as well of their own that we can hopefully show on the pitch today.
Muslic in particular, I mean, what a way to be thrust into the limelight of English football. You come over from Europe, you join a team that is at the bottom of the Championship. Your task really on paper is to sort that out, and then in the mix of it, you inadvertently, against all odds, some will say, you end up in an FA Cup run that has seen you take on Liverpool and today take on Man City. I mean, he is displayed in lights almost at the moment, and that's a real tough gig to come into.
Yeah, and I said earlier, it's early in his managerial career. Like I said, if you're gonna test yourself, you might as well test yourself against the best managers in the world. Yep. And he certainly had to do that. Arne Slot's obviously coming at Liverpool and set the Premier League alight with the football he's got Liverpool playing. We know what Pep can do, what his qualities are as a manager. He's obviously managed at some of the biggest clubs in the world, at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, obviously at Man City. So you've got to pit your wits against the best people if you want to strive to be like them. And I'm sure Miron has those ambitions to get away from the bottom of the Championship and manage a side that's higher up, whether that's Argyle as he takes them higher or whether that's with a different side. But you've got to start to pit your wits against the top guys, and that's what he's had the opportunity to do since he's come in.
He certainly seems like the kind of manager that's going to take something like that in his stride, which I think is really important.
Yeah, and he's all about it's another game of football. You go out and you show your passion, you show your togetherness, you show your work ethic, and if you do that, who knows what can happen. And Tommy Tynan said it to us when we stood on the roof of the change room behind us over there. There's not been a cup set. And he said it against Liverpool. Why can't it be us?
Yeah.
What's so different about today?
Absolutely, we go again today, and as if by magic, as if on cue, the sprinklers here at Home Park have turned on. So I think that's telling us that we are ready to move over to the Etihad Stadium, ready for you to go here on Argyle TV. So a reminder that this match is listen only if you are an Argyle TV subscriber, but I think it's going to sound good wherever you are. Thank you for joining us on Matchday Live, and thank you, Katie, for being here with me to do it. It is Charlie Price and Brian McGlinchey on commentary duties today. It is the FA Cup 5th round. It is Premier League opposition. It's Manchester City. It couldn't happen again, could it?